November 21st, 2023, and it is my birthday. I'm 49 years old, and I've decided to start something new today, and that is let's talk hockey. There's a lot of hockey topics out there, from who the best teams in the league are to who the worst teams in the league are to who the teams that have not lived up to their expectations and the teams that have surpassed their expectations. But today, my topic is Patrick Kane. And Patrick Kane is deciding who he wants to play with and who he wants to sign with for the rest of this year and possibly keep playing in the future for this hockey team. Patrick Kane is up in age. I wouldn't say he's really old, but he's starting to move that direction. 3 Stanley Cups and still a phenomenal hockey player. So much finesse, such a sniper, and just knows how to find open space on the ice and score goals where other players would have no clue. So the question is going to be, what team will he sign with? They're in talks right now. He's talking to a few teams, and I'm hearing rumors that the teams he's talking to are two different teams. I should say there's 4 teams, but 2 of the teams are in different positions than the other 2. And the first 2 teams I want to talk about are the 2 teams that are ready to win Stanley Cups, and that is the Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers. Now, the Florida Panthers, I've heard the general manager, the owner of the Florida Panthers, is going all in to get Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane, his agent is saying they want $5 million for him to sign. And the Florida Panthers are talking like, we'll give him that, and we'll give him that with absolutely no issues at all. Because we think he could be a piece to the puzzle that will put us over and we win the Stanley Cup. You see, the Florida Panthers are very physical. They bring a hard checking hockey game. They have a lot of players that have a hard shot, of course. They're defensemen. And they have, some talent. Well, they have a lot of talent. They don't have many superstars. They do have Keith Kachuk's son in Matthew Kachuk. And the reason I bring it up is because he is a real beater of a hockey player. And he's the reason why they made it so far last year. A lot of games. He finished off a lot of games to move on in the Stanley Cup playoffs last year. So, do the Florida Panthers want Patrick Kane? Well, I would say yes with an explanation point. They want to bring him on board. Would he choose to go there? If he does choose to go there, it's because he wants to win a Stanley Cup. Now, the second team I want to talk about is the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers have no problem paying them. They have such a huge amount of money to pay anybody anything they want to pay to bring them there, because it's New York, of course, the biggest market in hockey, pretty much, except for the Canadian markets. And I would just say this, that the Rangers have already been there and done that. They brought him last year. They didn't make it as far as they'd like to. They didn't live up to expectations. Will they bring him back to try it again and perhaps sign him up for a long-term deal? Well, if he does come back to the Rangers, he's going to be playing with some familiar players he played with last year. And of course, Igor Shesterkin, the goaltender, that's one big reason why he should come to the Rangers alone, because of his goaltending ability. And you need a goalie to win a Stanley Cup. So if Patrick Kane has going to the Stanley Cup and winning it again for the 4th time on his mind, he will sign up with either the Florida Panthers or the New York Rangers. Moving on to the 2 other teams. The other 2 teams we are hearing about are the Detroit Red Wings and the Buffalo Sabres. Why would he go to the Detroit Red Wings? The Detroit Red Wings are building. They're kind of moving in the right direction. Right now, they're struggling with goaltending. If you watch the European series that just happened, goaltending was an issue. And the Red Wings are young. Yeah, they're hungry. But they do have a general manager by the name of Steve Yzerman. And Patrick Kane would probably choose to play for the Red Wings simply for the reason that he built a play for the great Steve Yzerman. And that is a decision all on its own. I think if he were to go to Detroit, he would become an ambassador of the team, and he would be a leader, and he would get these young players to understand what it is to win hockey games and win playoff games and win Stanley Cups. Will he go to Detroit? I don't think it's on my radar, if I had to give you my honest opinion. The Buffalo Sabres are the last team I like to discuss. Another team that's down in the standings, not looking really great, but could make a push for the end. Actually, we're not even at the halfway mark, but we're moving close to it. You know, the Buffalo Sabres have a lot of young players, and the number one reason why he would go to the Buffalo Sabres is because of one thing, his hometown. This is where he comes from. And would he want to play where he grew up and have all of his friends and family in the area to come watch him play? I mean, I don't think that's a big deal when you're talking about the NHL. The bottom line is somebody's going to have to pay him. $5 million is what his agent is asking. You know, I think someone's going to give it to him. Now, I'm going to give you my honest opinion on who I think is going to give it to him, who I think he'll end up with. Razor Sharp has an opinion, and you need to listen. I do believe that Patrick Kane will make the smart decision, and he'll go with a team that wants to win another Stanley Cup. I don't think he'll end up in New York again. I think he'll end up in Florida. The Panthers will gobble him up. They'll pay him the $5 million, and he'll be a happy hockey player, and he'll help lead them to have a chance to win the Stanley Cup once again. Another reason, who doesn't want to move to the South in Florida and live in Sunrise, Florida, where it's hot weather all year round? Don't have to worry about the cold. Don't have to worry about any of that. It's absolutely beautiful. Almost like you're on vacation all the time. But that's my opinion. Patrick Kane will end up with the Florida Panthers. We will find out who he's going to end up with in the next couple days, maybe within the week. But this is Razor Sharp. Until we talk about another hockey topic, I'm saying the words. Hockey out.